Welcome back to the show, and we will continue with the talk with Mr. Danny. So in this show, we have the Mythbuster, where the expert will, explain some myth and show your opinion. So the myth is discipline is hard for Gen Z. What do you think about this?
Sure. So first off, I'm a millennial, believe it or not. Or what are you?
I'm a Gen Z.
Okay, so let me ask you, do you feel like you're a disciplined person?
Yes, for right now, but no in the past.
Okay, so how do you define your level of discipline?
4 to 5 out of 5 when I really have the goal.
Okay.
And maybe 2 to 3 when I have nothing to do.
Okay, so how do you measure that you are being disciplined? Like, give me a specific action that you do that you define as discipline.
So once, for instance, I got a goal to get this specific grade, and I will do some schedule and also timetable so that I could stick to that.
Sure.
So until a point where I could get that grade and succeed.
Okay, so that's talking about goal setting.
Yeah.
I think the first step is understanding what is discipline. Because when you ask most students and you say, are you a disciplined person? They shy away and they say, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
Right? So if you don't even know what it means to be disciplined, then how can you get there? Discipline is when you apply and you study, you train a set of systems of standards to achieve a meaningful objective. Right? So if you want to be a disciplined person, then you need to be able to follow through on the things that you say that you are going to do.
That's right.
I think a lot of times parents think that they need to spoon feed their children with all the values, with discipline, and to teach them. However, I think it's more important for individuals to develop the mindset to want to be intrinsically motivated to be disciplined.
Wow, that's really amazing. And I believe that discipline is also about getting rid of what you like at that moment and you desire at that moment so that you can achieve bigger goals.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's right.
So what are some specific activities or lessons that you can offer to the students so that they can get more self-discipline?
Absolutely. So I think one of the things is we want to eliminate distractions, right? So this goes back to conquering procrastination. A lot of times with technology, YouTube, right? Facebook, Instagram.
They watch social media all the time.
And honestly, like, how beneficial is that when you're trying to really focus, let's say, on physics, or you're trying to prepare for the IELTS exam, right? So we need to help eliminate distractions. And how can we develop that discipline framework? Well, we have to do it in baby steps. I think it's difficult for somebody who is constantly addicted to this type of social media to turn it off completely. So we have what we call accountability partners. An example would be, let's say I spend a lot of time on my cell phone. And when I come home, I can make the decision, be intentional, to give the cell phone to my mom, to give the cell phone to my dad, or put it and lock it away. And so then I eliminate distractions, and I can focus on what I need to achieve a meaningful outcome.
How could we eliminate the distraction?
Sure. So the distraction itself is technology, right? We should, let's say, have our noses in the textbooks or be really focused on the academic learning objectives rather than watching YouTube and playing video games. So in order to be disciplined, we have to make that intentional decision to be able to get rid of it, right? But it's hard to do it just by yourself, right? So you have somebody else that you trust hold you accountable. So you say, hey, every day when I come home, I will give you my cell phone. And let's say I forget, I conveniently forget. So then my mom or someone, my mentor would say, hey, give me your device, right? And this is how we build and instill discipline.
Wow, so do you think that the journey to help others get their self-discipline is kind of hard?
I actually think it's very meaningful, right? So for me, I lived in the military. I spent 6 years where I was serving my country. It was a very selfless endeavor. And now in private education, mentoring students and parents on a daily basis, I also consider as a very meaningful endeavor. Teaching these important values and instilling discipline, so through discipline we can have that freedom.
So you just highlighted the importance of parents and also home education. So what do you think parents should do to help their kids get more self-discipline?
Sure. So once again, this goes back to leadership by example, right? So anything you ask your children, you should be able to do yourself, right? So the example that I always give is making your bed, right? Or you say that you want to eliminate sweets or not drink Coke or soft drinks because that's not really healthy for you, but you're drinking it, right? So any rules that you establish, you want to be able to honor yourself, and then, of course, hold yourself accountable and lead by example.
So like if the parents should be the first one to be disciplined.
That's right.
And then the kids will follow that.
Of course, right? Because kids are always constantly looking at a figure of authority to want to follow or emulate that behavior.
So one more important question is for the students and the young people. What should we do to be more disciplined?
Sure. What should we do to be more disciplined? Well, I think the first step is you have to understand and define discipline, as we did before, right? The second thing is you have to do an honest assessment, right? You have to ask yourself and say, like, why do I want to be disciplined? What can I gain as a result of being disciplined? And then the third thing is you have to do, right? You have to do it, right? Just like Nike, just do it. I think you have to make the decision intentionally to move forward with the decisions that you make.
So whether if I struggle with getting disciplined, then what should I deal with that?
Exactly. So this is why you need mentors, or what we call accountability partners, right? If I want to go work out at a gym every single morning, it might be hard for me to go in there by myself. But if I have a personal trainer or I have a training partner, then we can work out and push each other together. Same kind of mindset. If I want to build discipline, first off, I need to have someone who is a disciplined person, right? Intrinsically motivated to be disciplined. That person sets an example for me to follow.
Wow.
And that person can then help me and guide me. So this is the value of mentors and what they can provide.
Wow, that's really amazing. I think these are the key takeaways for the parents and teachers and students who are watching the show. And thank you so much, Mr. Danny.
Thank you.
Yeah.